Hello, my name is Catherine Cruz. After I graduate from Arizona State, I will be starting a teacher prep program that will give me the adequate skills to teach in an elementary school classroom. This vision statement outlines my values and guidelines for my future classroom. I believe that every child is capable of complex thought with the right help from their support system. I want to create students that are self-motivated and routine-oriented to set them up for success down the line. This foundation will set them up for success in reading in particular. In first grade, reading is the cornerstone of all learning. Reading plays a large role in early education and is a critical stage in learning. One way of instilling the passion of reading into students is by reading to our students. I know it may seem simple, but this will be a large facet of my teaching strategy. Reading children's literature, letting students choose their subject matter when possible, and giving them a choice in this vital aspect of their education. While my students may come from different backgrounds, the benefits of reading to and with children are immense. This will play a large role in my classroom. I want to build an environment that fosters not only quality solo learning experiences, but also effective collaborative learning experiences. I will achieve this by providing a non-traditional desk space. In Damascio's article on material culture, they discuss the history of traditional desks and the confined feeling they gave students. I also experienced this feeling in public schools. Creating lifelong learners and lovers of reading is key to the type of culture I want to foster in the classroom. Pittman discusses in their book the understanding of even young students about the amount of time spent outside at recess. The time was very precious to them, so precious that sometimes the transition from recess to the classroom was jarring. I want to aid this scenario by creating a space that is fun and fluid, allowing for creativity yet still remaining organized. According to Marian Wright Edelman, schools report disproportionately lower funding in schools that hold higher populations of students of color. Despite Brown versus Board of Education, the gap remains. This leads to the next cause, which is poverty. Time and again, schools with a large population of students living in poverty experience less access to educational technologies in the form of up-to-date textbooks, curriculum, and materials. I feel very strongly about breaking this gap in my classroom. As I become a more established teacher, I would love to get into policy work to create an equal playing ground for all children. As a white woman that grew up in a lower middle class, my experiences might inhibit me from gaining a full understanding of people in minority groups or in other cultures. I want to ensure that I am actively learning and listening from people to narrow the gap and decrease the likelihood of my culture becoming a disability in my classroom. I would imagine seeing numerous versions of cultural conflict in my classroom. Culture is more than just where you are from. It consists of religion, ability, family structure, and so much more. I want to make sure I am requesting help from all my resources. I also want to continue to fight for more comprehensive curriculum written from multiple perspectives and provide an environment conducive to learning and growth in every aspect. One thing that Cowhey outlines and discusses is the ritual of the Pledge of Allegiance. This has always been a consistent ritual that I saw throughout my schooling. She states, I did not make the children recite the Pledge of Allegiance because I think it is developmentally inappropriate. I have to agree with this statement. I never knew what I was saying growing up, and when I learned the gravity of the words that we mindlessly said for 12 years, I was deeply bothered. It seems innately wrong to ask a 5-year-old to pledge allegiance to anything other than bedtime. In the screencast, we are asked to think about typical rituals that we may not continue. This is one that I just don't feel comfortable requiring my students to contribute to. My overall idea is to foster the unique qualities in each of my students. I do not want them filing out of my class as identical clones of public education. I want their gifts to flourish. I'm making the decision to choose culturally responsive teaching because I believe that this will create more empathetic, caring, critical thinkers. This is something that we desperately need in the world. I think that as educators, we need to slow down and truly evaluate where we are getting our curriculum and how it is being addressed. In an article outlining multicultural pedagogy for NEA, Dr. James Bank discusses the 5 dimensions of multicultural education. The dimensions include integration, knowledge construction, equity pedagogy, prejudice reduction, and empowering school culture and social structure. By using each of these pillars as well as being flexible and open to learning from my students, I can begin to have a culturally responsive classroom. Thank you for watching my screencast. I hope you learned as much as I did about culturally responsive teaching. Because of this research, I feel prepared to teach in a diverse and open classroom. I've grown to realize how truly passionate I am about culturally responsive teaching. I hope that I can share this knowledge with my future colleagues as well. Thank you.